Hey, everybody. Yeah, I see you, but I see double me, not double you. Yeah, great. Here
Oh,
we
I'm
go.
back. Now I'm live.
There you go. Oh, you bastard. How are you?
I am well, and you?
Good. All right. Now we're going.
We are cooking with gas.
Hey, LinkedIn Live Land. This is Michael Goldberg, and today, first off, welcome to the LinkedIn Live Lunch Hour. Today, I've got friend, colleague, coach, recruiter, all around good guy, Bradley Richardson, on the channel today. Hello,
Howdy, howdy.
Bradley.
Howdy, howdy.
How's it going?
It's going well, and you?
No, I cannot complain. Cannot
But we will.
complain.
We will find a way, though. We will somehow find a way.
We will find a way. So one thing I'll be doing here is I'm going to go to the live broadcast. If you could share the broadcast on LinkedIn Live, as you're looking at my profile here, and we'll be able to talk and answer questions. And we're going to talk about some great stuff here. So, Bradley, kind of before we kind of dive into an array of topics we've talked about that we do want to talk about, give us that elevator pitch summary about what it is and who is the great Bradley Richardson.
Wow, I feel like I should lay down and pay you $300 for a therapy session.
You can. I'll take anything.
Who is Bradley Richardson? Well, we're going to go introspective. No, for the LinkedIn audience here, I'm over 20 years in the career and recruiting space. I have been a headhunter, was partner at one of the big firms for a number of years, ran their national healthcare practice. So yes, I was the dirty word of executive search headhunter agency side, and know it extremely well, was good at it, hate it, and have great disdain for it. Sorry, we'll get that right out. But it's true, because I just see there's a lot of good in it and there's a lot of bad in it on both sides, for companies, for the people doing it, and for job seekers. We can talk about that, how I look at it like attorneys as well. You love them or hate them, but you need them. I've had 5 books published, and I'm happy about that. Way back in the day, had Random House publish a couple of them that became bestsellers, Job Smarts for 20-somethings, and one about career comeback, about the whole emotional side of job loss or trying to reinvent yourself. And that's something we all know about and the audience knows about. And I do a lot of executive coaching. After doing so much in executive search, part of what you are is you're almost like amateur therapist when you're talking with people, because the bad recruiters are get a job, or, do you want to move? But if you're really good at it, you realize that it's not black and white. You're talking to people about making moves beyond just a title or just beyond the money, and it becomes something very personal. And so past couple of years, I've really been working with a lot of the people who I'd worked with in search, senior executives, professionals, on how do you make a transition. It's not just tactical, but it's strategic, and it's also emotional as well. And it's kind of like that idea of, there's a lot of free info out there, but there's a lot of garbage out there too, and a lot of I try and dispel a lot of myths and help people bridge the gap between the way things should be and the way they really are. And so I do that with people now.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably a good jumping off point there, right? So, when we're looking at candidates, because you and I we do similar things. But
we've worked together in the past on projects and things as well. So
right. So let's talk about reality versus truth. Well, no, I guess that's the same thing. Let's talk about reality versus what we're hearing out there. Is that recruiters are lazy, recruiters suck. That we're but candidates are not applying to the job smartly, blah blah blah. Where do you kind of point the finger to say, all right, how can we improve the reputation of whether it be recruiting or HR or whatever it is you do? What's your kind of bottom line formula for making sure people are doing or not no longer pointing fingers at one another?
People are always going to point fingers. I think that's the thing. I think we'd love to, operate and work in this, fantastic utopian society where everybody values each other and hugs each other and all this and, treats everyone with respect. It'd be great too. You should also not speed. You should also floss and eat your vegetables, but that shit ain't going to happen all the time. And so instead, it's a matter of, you're always going to have some people that do it right, some people that, and that's a good thing. You want, opposite ends. You want polarity, because I think having people that do it very well and having people that do it poorly is a good thing. You're not going to have it all the time. I think there's probably 3 or 4 different parts in the question you asked. You're talking about, from the candidate perspective. And when I say candidate, candidate, job seeker, applicant, whatever, anybody, and that can be somebody at a front line, a mid-career or senior executive. But we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about the company side as well. I think and agencies. For the candidate side, I think that everybody's looking for an easy button. You know what? It's going to the gym. It really is. And I started out my career in my 20s dealing with job seekers. And so I'm in, I moisturize, but yes, I'm in my 50s now. Okay. And so I've been a long time dealing with job seekers. And the thing is, everybody looks for that easy way out. They think that it's if I have a perfect resume, if I have this perfect profile, if I talk to the right recruiter, they're going to do it for me. Cool. And it can happen. But that's a BS myth that we all have, come to believe. It's kind of like thinking, oh, well, you know what? If it were that easy to get in shape, is just, looking at an article online or, having an exercise bike. Great. Get on the damn bike. It's hard work. It's hard work getting out there. And I think a lot of job seekers at every level, and you and I've talked about this, and this is even for people in HR, people who are, I spent the bulk of my career dealing with CFOs, CEOs, even them, they think there's an easy button. That, oh, well, if I have this, someone should automatically see the merits of me and all this. And that's bullshit. It's not. You have to actually work hard at, and this is the other thing too. Sorry, you get me on a rant. We talk about networking, okay? And that's the whole big thing on LinkedIn now is, I have 70,000 contacts and they're valued, and I network with everyone. No one tells you how to. They don't. They don't tell you how to really sell yourself and promote yourself. So a lot of it,
and the folks that are connected to, the 30,000 is the max. But the way people are trying to get these big, gigantic followings, and you and I have talked about this. I've talked this to plenty of other people. That's not the way you build a following, because of the 30,000 people that you're connected to, how many of them are you really having those meaningful conversations with? And what are those conversations looking like?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I don't think anybody's kind of really pinned that down yet. There's no formula. Whether it be on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're posting, there's that while there is allegedly a magical algorithm that gets people interested in following you and stuff like that, I think people are left in the dark about it. And I don't know about you, but on a daily basis, I'm getting a lot of experts coming to me to saying, I can help build your leads and build your,
it has become the Instagram or Facebook of it. I mean, I look, I've dabbled in that whole personal development world for a while too. And it has so become I know it's not a word, the Instagramification almost of LinkedIn, where it is such BS of, coaches coaching coaches on how to coach, there are so many LinkedIn profile experts now. I mean, really, just do your job. Just do your damn job. Stay in your lane. Do your job. Okay, branch out a little bit. That's okay. But it's become this way of who can make money off of each other on showing them how to use this. And I just find it completely gross and obscene. And I think it, that I subscribe to the 1,000 True Fans thing. That's really it. The fact that you mentioned the word follower. Okay, look, we're not Jesus here. Okay, I don't have that many followers. Okay, you don't need followers. You need customers. You need clients. You need friends. You need people who you truly connect with. Followers is a vanity.
Who believe in you and believe in your product.
Absolutely. And guess what? Not everybody is. And I think that's the whole thing. Is we are, accustomed to or growing. Accustomed to having followers now. I don't want followers. I want clients. I want people who believe in me and what I do and what I offer. And people, that's it. Okay. And then I think there's a lot of lip service. I know I sound very cynical, but I think it's well-founded too. And I think that you're going to you found this in some other areas. And I think you're going to see this now. I think LinkedIn's late to the game. I think that it's kind of reaching its zenith and it's about to tip, where people are kind of sick of that. And they're going, let's get back. And everything has a pendulum. Okay. So Robbie, you and I are both, because of recruiting, we're early, first, generation one of LinkedIn. So I've been on for years and years and years. And I hated it because for one point it was almost too professional. It was so over the top on one end of, this is my professional network. Okay, great. So if you put anything that's human at all, you get criticized. And now it's, and my favorite thing I bag on is, basically, here's my dog licking a lollipop. Okay. And you get, suddenly everybody's like, or you say some sort of, bullshit thing of, you should be nice to people. And suddenly 10,000 people come out of the woodworks. Oh yes, you should. That's not value. That's not value. That's a sheep herd mentality.
But I think it also depends on what you're putting in the copy. And I'm not saying go keyword crazy, but I think you have to make sure that the copy of your posts, number one, have an inquisitive tone and not a talking directly to tone, because I think it really does depend. Now, someone that posted, a video of their dog licking a lollipop and it gets 25,000 views, yeah, great. But I mean, it kind of goes back to a post I did yesterday. I did a video post on the keys to effective networking. You'd think I'd get a lot of hits, right? Well, that video I think did maybe about 75 to 100 views. And as I was telling you before the broadcast, I bought some Girl Scout cookies, and they're these new brand called Lemon Ups. And it's an empowering cookie that has, I'm an innovator, I'm a leader. And I take a picture of one.
Did you say empowering cookie?
It is an empowering cookie. Well, for young women. So,
got it. Okay.
Right. So, but because I was talking about that resonated with the platform more, because I think, and talking with my friend Judy Fox, you have to, and what they recommend is you have to be unique out there. I mean, everybody talks about networking. Everybody talks about the job search. Everybody talks about how to have a better profile and blah, blah, blah. The platform, I think, is going to, if it's overwrought with those topics, it's not going to post on those. It's not going to post, and you're not going to get as much exposure or views on that or comments on that, because it's something that's, you put a dog licking a lollipop or an ice cream cone or a picture of a Girl Scout cookie, and you're going to get, several hundreds to thousands of views.
I want to go back to one. It is, and you're exactly right. There's just too much fluff out there. You start off asking me the question about where do things go wrong with job seekers, candidates, and then with who do you point fingers at or blame? Okay, and again, I'm not saying we got to point fingers everywhere, but I think this is the case. Okay, I think we're soft. I think we're completely weak. I think that people are very afraid to say what needs to be said and basically pull Oz's curtain back and show them what really happens, how the sausage is made, as far as what it really takes, what happens when you apply, what happens when you get a job, what people are saying, what works and not. And that this speaks to the platform of, we're so, kumbaya, let's all drink some Kool-Aid and hug each other and tell you why, we need to promote each other. Okay, fantastic. That does sound great. But, I put up a video yesterday, okay, talking about recruiters, okay? Dispel a myth about recruiters. And, I can't tell you how many people, senior executives, come to me and say, well, Bradley, I just need to find a recruiter to market me, or I'm talking to a recruiter here and they're really going to, they put me up for a job. Okay, cool. Guess what? Okay. You're not the only one. Oh my God, it's not monogamous. Yeah. When I actually, it blows their damn mind and it's such common sense. They get it, but they don't want to admit it. And I go, that recruiter is putting up 3 to 6 different people for that job. So, and they may think you're the best one, and that's great, but they're also promoting the other people. Or, and this is the other part that freaks people out, and it's just true, and no one likes to say the dirty truth on it, is you may be fodder. Guess what? Because you've been in the seat, okay, of in a company. So if someone's bringing you, you're not going to hire the first person out of the gate. They could bring you Jesus, Moses, and Oprah, and go, oh well, but I still want to see some other people. So what you're doing is I'm going to give you a slate of probably 3 to 6 people. And I may put, Billy Bob in that slate, knowing Billy Bob's good. He's qualified. I'm not throwing crap against the wall. But guess what? I know that Billy Bob's not going to get the job because you really like Susie Q. Susie Q is who you really want, but this person's getting presented just because. And job seekers don't understand that, or they're unwilling to admit that because they're thinking, oh, well, someone's this. And my whole thing is you say recruiters are lazy. I think people in general are lazy. Yes, recruiters are too. But people are because they thinking that they're one trick ponies. They think, well, I'm going to apply. I'm going to go in Indeed and Zip and LinkedIn and I'm going to apply. And that's your search. Awesome. I'm going to talk to a few recruiters. I'm going to sit on my ass then and wait for something to happen and look for that easy button and someone to do it for me. Right. Instead of thinking, you know what? You don't build a house with one tool. I don't sit there and go, I've got a hammer, building a house, let's make it happen. You need a lot of tools. And people don't think about that because they think that someone's going to do it for them. It goes back to my gym example. Great, I've got an expensive ass Peloton bike. Get your ass on the bike. Do that and maybe stop eating as much. And maybe go for a walk or something too. It's a lot of different things that go into it. And that's for job seekers. And I think that's where LinkedIn is soft. It's not to be contrarian. To be contrarian, it's just real. And no one tells you that. And that's just for the candidate side. But there's a whole lot on the company side too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You mentioned, if you peeled back the layers of what goes on in, once you've applied to a position, once a candidate has applied to a position, mm-hmm. What's really interesting to me is that I would say that, let's say a position, let's use, it's a sales position. And you have mm-hmm. 200 people apply. Most recruiters are only going to look at generally the first 10 to 20% initially. And if they can find 7 to 10 good candidates that are qualified mm-hmm. and that they're going to go talk to, and it's right. based upon the order of which it was received, right. I think recruiters generally just say, here's the issue is they don't look at the delta. So if 200 people apply and they're only looking at, let's say, 25 to 40 candidates to get down mm-hmm. to 3 to 5% after the screening, mm-hmm. The question is what are they doing with the delta of the other 160 that have applied? Because there could be some great candidates. Are they sharing those candidates with other recruiters? Are they sharing those with other sales managers that might be hiring in the next month or so?
No, and there's a couple of reasons why. And we look at this, you're talking about on the internal side. Okay, on the internal side, no, they're not sharing them because one, on the most surface level, they're not incented to. Why? Why would they? There's nothing that benefits them. Oh, we're on a team and we have this great teamwork. Screw that. No, because let's say this leads me to the second one. Okay. There's no financial benefit. There's no bonus. There's no reward or anything like that. Okay. For doing that, other than the job, reward of a job well done. Great. Here's the reality that no one understands unless you've been in it. These poor recruiters, part of it may be a skill set. Part of it might be that they just are not qualified to do it. But a good chunk of it, and this is coming to their defense, they're so overwhelmed they're drinking from a fire hose because they have anywhere between, on a low end, this, between 10 to 15 on a low end, and somewhere in the neighborhood, one project you and I worked on, which one, had 25 to 50 to one one recruiter had 75 open recs. How in the hell is somebody with even 25 open recs? All you're doing is you're playing whack-a-mole at that point. And you're going, oh my God, I've got to get these filled here. I'm looking at these. I'm going to just quickly go through it, shove as many people into this hiring manager here, go to the next thing, check the box, which, that's just bad. So they're overwhelmed. And so what happens with your delta, the overflow? It goes by the wayside, in good companies. And if you have all the resources and time in the world, you're going to go back and do that. But the most part, it's flushed down the toilet. And the other thing is that it's just, they're drinking from so much that they, this thing that I know as an agency type guy, okay? If I'm retained, all right, I have a vested interest any which way, whether you're contingent or retained. If I'm retained, I get paid regardless, okay? So my motivation is to find the best candidates. To fill the job, yes, but to find the best candidate. And that means at the 11th hour, let's say I've presented, people and they've gone through, they've interviewed 5 people, they're down to the final thing, but I find the absolute stone cold best candidate who blows everybody away at the 11th hour right before they're about to make an offer, okay? I'm going to put that person in there. I'm going to shove that person in there. But for contingent, that'll never happen. They're not going to jack it up at all. They're going to go, I'm going to save this one and take them over there. Candidates don't understand that. So you'll never get presented. And clients don't understand that you're not always seeing the best thing if you're working on a contingent thing. On the internal side, this is what's funny. The internal side, do you think if Brian, Brittany, or Chad, your internal recruiter there who has 35 recs that they're just trying to fill, and they've got one that's been in process, it's been open for, let's say, 75 days. They finally are close to having someone picked, and the perfect candidate applies. The absolute stone cold perfect person applies, or calls them up, or is handed to them. What do you think happens? You and I both know they end up saying, well, we're far enough. We're far enough in the process. We're good. We can't do that.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you talk to them?
Because they don't. And
right.
that.
No, but they should. No, they should. They should talk to them.
But there's no reason for them to. And that's
right, because it's more work for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is BS in my opinion.
It screws everyone.
Well, and I've been in that position personally.
Mm-hmm.
Where they feel like they've got enough slated of candidates. I don't care. Put my resume in front of them.
My example on that was this. And if you're a sports fan, I know, I lived in Dallas forever. I know you're there. So let's say that you're putting a basketball team together and you have everybody picked, and then suddenly Dirk Nowitzki comes up and says, hey, you know what, I want to play for you guys. Well, I'm sorry, whoever I've picked for this position, you're out. I'm taking Dirk. But nobody does that. Nobody suddenly.
Case.
Huh?
That's an extreme case. If Dirk Nowitzki said, let's play ball, then.
Yeah, but if here's another thing though, and this is an real example that I've encountered recently. So sometimes your frontline recruiters, this is what a lot of job seekers don't understand, and a lot of senior executives don't understand. Okay, I've had a lot of conversations lately with CEOs who they assume they have faith in that it should be done a certain way, but they don't really know how the sausage is made even in their own home. And so, for example, one contact of mine is a healthcare CFO, and she has run entire divisions. So she's had that at least 10 CFOs under her for multiple hospitals around the country. So she's talking with a group in Southern California, and the frontline recruiter doing the screen. Now, again, her last role was VP of Strategic Initiatives for a public company with 100 plus hospitals. Okay. The junior recruiter looks at her and goes, well, you're not a current CFO, so I don't know if you have enough CFO experience on this. Really? Okay. Like 10x the experience level. I think that's a lot of it is that a lot of people, because they're trying to put out so many fires, there's no reason for them to dig deeper and go beneath the surface or connect the dots. And that's something I tell a lot of job seekers as well as recruiters, internal and external. Talk to us like we're fifth graders, really, because we think in terms of labels and we are looking for square hole to go in a square peg. And it's not, if you can make it easy for a recruiter to understand your value and not have to make us work for it, then you as a job seeker are going to benefit from that. It sounds crappy, but it's true.
Yeah. So So we've had a couple of comments here. The first one's from.
Can I see the comments on these or not? I can't see them.
You can if you log into your phone.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Onto the live broadcast through my
Got it.
My channel. So Mary Anthe Perver, who's a friend of mine, when we were talking about going through all the candidates, she said your good sourcers will. And I said, well, will what? Search through other candidates. Yes, and that's a sourcer's job, Mary Anthe, and I would agree. I also think the recruiters need to be also doing that as well. Wouldn't you agree, Bradley?
I think they should, but again, it goes back to what I said at the very beginning. We should also not speed, and eat our vegetables and floss. I think that and that's what separates the good people from the bad people. I use that attorney example. You know what? People hate attorneys because probably there's about 70% of really shitty attorneys out there, and 30% are really, really good. And just like there are some amazing, it sounds like we're making a blanket indictment, but the thing is, we're preaching to the choir. A lot of the people who are here, and like your friend who's commenting, she's part of that club that does it right, and her employer should value that, and she's always going to have be in demand.
And she's a hell of a sourcer and a hell of a recruiter too.
Yeah, so. but the thing is though, it's I've long looked at recruiting as a third world country, really. In any, I don't care if you're on the agency side or the in-house side. Because you have a handful over here who are the cream of the crop, the best of the best. They do it right, okay? Mm-hmm. And then, the really horrible ones, on the opposite side. And then just the majority, though, are just plugging along, kind of clueless. And that's it. And it's funny because I think there's a lot of information that's out there, at least on the recruiting side. Now, this is not job seeker side. And you and I have talked about this. There are a lot of people who if you're with an organization that is either progressive enough, that has the resources, the people to do that, and the leadership, then, oh man, if you can get a job there and work and serve them, then you should. And they do a great job with it. But a lot of them are just putting out fires where they just don't see it. They don't value it. That's a challenge. I'm going to try and look at the comments here.
So another comment from Victoria McCullough. Thanks for joining us, Victoria. So she says, so if recruiters have so many open recs, what's the problem in filling the positions? The onus is on the recruiters to submit the candidates, and not all candidates are going to fill 100% of the criteria. True. The recruiter needs to speak with candidates, get to know them versus just ignoring them. A resume is just a written description of job functions. It does not define who the candidate really is. And those are great points. What's your take on it, and then I'll jump in.
I think she's absolutely right, but I start off this whole conversation with, okay, there's the way things should be and the way things are. So yes, she's exactly right. Recruiters should do that, and the good ones do, and they take time to get to know people beyond a resume, because a resume, I look at a resume like a menu. You know what? I can look at a menu in a restaurant, and the food sounds good, but I don't know anything until I have the experience and smell it and experience it. It's the same thing with resumes are bullshit. They really, I just think they are. People think they're the magic bullet, though. They really do. They think that it's the candidates and hiring managers especially. I've sat in front of more hiring, and here's the thing. Here's probably the difference. In my over 20 years, the 85% of the people I have dealt with are hiring managers. Okay, so that's where a lot of my experience comes from. And to Victoria's point, yes, where a lot of things gum up the works is the hiring manager themselves, because hiring managers view recruiting like dancing. They don't do it very often, and when they do, they think they're a hell of a lot better than they really are. And because it's like, oh, well, I know how to judge people. I'm a good, judge of character. I can find my people. And suddenly you think you can do this. Or they treat the internal recruiter like garbage or put them off. And the sad thing is, this is the part that should be, which is how it is. How it is my experience is a lot of internal recruiters do not have the skill set to be assertive enough with a hiring manager to present themselves in a consultative manner or as a peer. Whereas an outside person is pushy, is aggressive, sometimes too much so. But their motivation is, you're going to listen to me, and I'm going to tell you why, and here's where I need to get an answer. And the problem is a lot of I think there's a huge chasm between hiring managers and internal recruiters.
Oh, well, and agency recruiters. I think there's a huge divide. The problem is that neither the agency recruiter or the internal recruiter, more so on the internal recruiting side, really understand the business. And they're a robot. And I've talked about this with other guests. The recruiter is a robot treating the candidate like a transaction, like a bank transaction, or pulling into the Chick-fil-A window, and I'm ordering my nuggets, fries, and lemonade shake, and I get it.
My pleasure.
There's no personal investment in trying to understand it. That food's not good for you. You have to understand what you're ordering to feel better about what you're going to take from the restaurant. I know that probably doesn't make sense.
No, but Mike, it goes back to that easy button I was talking about. Okay, right. On the candidate side, they put blind faith in. Well, I'm gonna apply to this job and go through their process, and I'm going to trust that the recruiter is going to see the value that I bring and connect the dots and be my advocate. Horseshit. Doesn't happen. Or the agency recruiter, either way, okay, that they're going to be my advocate. No, they're not. In some cases, yes, they should, but they don't. And then on the client side, yeah, I think that a hiring manager mistakenly, hiring managers don't take enough responsibility for what they want. In your Chick-fil-A example, yeah, it's kind of like asking your family member, your kid, your spouse, your partner, hey, you want to go out to eat? Yeah, what do you want? I don't know. I'm Mexican. I don't want Mexican. It's like, okay, have an idea of what you want first. And, you and I have spent years trying to educate people like that. Great. Okay. They don't want to be educated. Yeah. They don't want to be educated. So what you have to do is you have to figure out how to hack the system.
Well, and that's it. Deliver. The way to hack the system is to listen and then deliver. It's a simple formula.
It is deliver, but I also believe this. And granted, I tip more towards the assertive scale, but it's the idea of, if you are a recruiter or you're in anything, okay, you can choose to present yourself as an administrator, a paper pusher, a paper hanger, an explainer. Okay, that's it. And if so, fine, you'll be treated as such. You're nothing more than a glorified admin who's doing scheduling, and find me some decent people to go through that. And internally, and this is the hard part to hear. And again, with the caveat that there are some amazing people doing it right out there. Okay, that's not who I'm talking to. There are people who are just like they're trying to just push things along, and they don't want to rock the boat. And instead of presenting themselves as a peer, as a consultant of, hey, Mr. CFO, guess what? I'm going to give you these candidates, and here's my recommendation, because I do this every day. You don't do this every day. I'm not going to walk in and tell you how to run the books, how to close the month, or anything like that. Hey, Miss VP of Marketing, you know marketing backwards and forwards, but I do this every day on the candidates, and here's what's going to get them hired. Here's where they're going to fall off. Here's what's going to drop off. Here's how you have to respond. And not a lot of people have the stones to be able to do that, or the forethought to be able to do that, because they're just trying to play along. And that's a problem.
So true. Yeah. So there was one comment here from Morgan Lucas, and she says, Instagramification, love it. Finally, someone who sees the circus for what it is. Immediately, as soon as you said that, I kind of went to the Red Hot Chili Pepper song Californication to Instagramification. So there you go.
Royalty checks to be sent to Bradley Richardson.
There you go. So John Sorensen says external recruiters are looking to cash a check. Yes, they are, John.
And they are, and I know, John. Yeah, and here's the thing, though. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that if you know the game. Okay, that's it. Michael, you and I have had this conversation many times, okay? And I spent the bulk of my recruiting career in healthcare, and it's funny because there's sometimes this mixed bag of, well, healthcare, you're providing a value, you're providing a service, you're saving lives. Yes, you are. But, no money, no mission. Okay. It's the same thing with helping job seekers as well. It is business. It is a business at the end of the day. And if you, as a job seeker, understand that, you can either choose to view that with disdain, or you can choose to say, all right, how can I make everybody happy and money and be part of the equation on this as well? And those, like I said, those are some of the dirty things that nobody likes to say, because we all like to think it's, oh, this wonderful, humanitarian effort there to provide value. Okay, it provides value, but it's a business.
So switching gears here, and we got probably about 5 minutes left. So, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is known as the coronavirus. Do you see, and I've started to kind of see a interesting take on companies. The numbers of postings have shrunk this week, especially with the way the market performed last week. What are you hearing from, and what are your thoughts? I know none of us have a crystal ball, but is this Corona thing going to get worse before it gets better here in the U.S.? But more importantly, not asking you to prognosticate that. I'm asking you, in terms of the job market for job seekers, do you think this is going to have people kind of slowing down, or do you think it's based on the industry where they are? What's your thoughts there?
I don't know. I mean, this is it's kind of, I feel in a way this is kind of like asking a Hollywood actor, their thoughts on politics. I don't know. This is out of my wheelhouse, but what I do see and how it relates is, I think the numbers have been skewed. I think that, and I was like on fire for, oh my God, it's, virtual zero unemployment, it's so hard to find people, all of this. And, I think, I don't want to say we're on the verge of a recession, but I think that this thing has definitely made people tap the brakes. I think it is something that, whether it is real, whether it is hyped, whether it is an easy thing to go, oh, damn, this fell in our lap, and we can tap the brakes on hiring. We can really slow down a little bit. I think it has given people pause. I think that the job market is not as hot as people have anticipated. I think it's very layered, much more layered than it has been in the past. And I think that a lot of the numbers are skewed. I think that it does not factor in gig workers, freelancers, contractors, anyone like that who are doing multiple things at all. And you and I both know, and many people in this audience probably know, that getting in is not as easy as you think. Now, because here's the deal: if you would think that, oh my God, everybody's hiring right now, it's a freaking white hot employment market, why are there people who are having a hard time getting in? With ageism, with getting past the computers, anything like this, it's damn hard. And I think that you're going to find things tighten up significantly, and whether it's due to the virus or not, I think it's going to. I think the virus is kind of a, whew, boy, that sure worked in our favor right now. But I think things are going to tighten up.
Yeah. So is Minnesota a Super Tuesday state?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
But you're still a resident of the great old state.
I'm still a Texan. Yes. I just wanted to see what snow is like. No, actually, no. I had the good fortune of falling in love with a woman in Minnesota. So I said, let's buy a coat and come here.
Buy a coat, yes, and protect your bald head. So, one of the things I always like to do is do a little rapid fire asking here as we wrap up. So throw some things at you and see how you respond. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Favorite movie?
Cinema Paradiso.
What?
Cinema Paradiso.
Right.
It's obscure. It is the most romantic love story ever. Italian
More than
movie.
The Notebook?
Oh my God, Notebook's amateur hour. This is, it is in Italian. Crazy. My sons watched it, and they were in tears. I kid you not. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite food?
Tacos. Street tacos. Real deal. Taqueria.
There you go. You got a lot of that in Minnesota, I'm sure.
No.
Okay.
We had a lot of hot dish. A lot of hot dish up here.
Right. There you go. Would you like a pop? Favorite quote?
Favorite quote. Whatever you dare or try. I just saw this again the other day. I forgot it, but whatever you want to paraphrase. Whatever you dare to do or try to do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Goethe.
Excellent. Favorite vacation destination?
Oh gosh, that I've been or that I want to. So I have the hankering that I've been.
Yeah.
Oh God. My favorite thing that I've done was Vieques. I did a solo trip on my own to a little desolate island in the Caribbean, maybe 6 miles long. So Vieques was wonderful.
Where is it, in Mexico or?
No. It's between Puerto Rico and St. Croix.
Huh.
Yeah, wild horses running all over the place. It's crazy. Yeah, very desolate. Yeah.
There you go.
Otherwise, Spain.
Yeah, why not? So, all right. So, in terms of in terms of our conversation, we've kind of been all over the place today, but I've enjoyed it. And I think you've covered a lot. I think you've said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria, one more comment here. She goes, "To be honest, I find job descriptions difficult to understand. That's because they're written as job descriptions based on requirements to meet the needs of OFCCP requirements or meet the needs of how they're figuring out how to value jobs."
Yep. No one's going to come work for you for a freaking job description. They're about as sexy and tell as much of a story as going to Whole Foods and going to the gluten-free aisle and reading the ingredients. That's all it is. There's nothing that is marketing-oriented, sales-oriented, or compelling about a job description. And the funny thing is this: I guarantee you, okay, go into whatever site du jour that you like, and look at your company's posting and look at your competitors, and they will if you hit the company name, they're almost identical. So figure out a way to stand out and tell a story. It's huge. So it's a big one. Hey, I wanted to also say to your folks here, and if some of this stuff resonates with you, then and on the job seeker side or career, if you're thinking about making a career move, okay, I'll do the shameless plug thing on this, but we've talked a lot about working with headhunters, agencies, things like that. But I believe a lot of this you can do on your own. Okay, and here I am, having done this for 20 years. Okay, we don't invent fire in the wheel every day. So I am doing a webinar later this week about how to be DIY a headhunter, so you can become your own. And then also, I've been working with some people, as kind of a side thing from that. Working with people and coaching them in their job search, not just the free crap you can find out there, but some of the real stuff that we've been talking about the way things work and helping them to put together a plan and being accountable for that plan too. So.
No, and I think, and so for the job seekers on here, I mean, I think you should definitely reach out to Bradley. He can definitely help you. Going to remind you, if you live in a Super Tuesday state today, go vote. Your votes do count, whether your candidate's dropped out or not, or if you like the other guy. I would say, keep doing what you're doing, Bradley. We appreciate what you do for the job seeker community and how you coach folks, and appreciate having you on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Always fun chat with you. Thanks for giving me the access to your folks and letting me spout to them. But everybody, if you're watching and we're not already connected, just definitely connect with me here on LinkedIn and otherwise, and love to help and answer questions.
Absolutely. So thanks again. And next week I'll have Donnie Gupton. Bradley, I don't know if you know Donnie. Donnie's a good
Yeah,
guy.
I talked to. He's out in San Francisco, right?
Is he out of he may be out of San Francisco.
I think so. He's like the branding guy, funnel
Yeah,
guy.
for agencies. He helps agencies out.
Yeah. I talked to him last week.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
People. So we'll have him on. So thanks for joining, everybody, and have a good rest of your week.
Cool.